Today we're talking about motorcycle maintenance do's and don'ts, as well as a few tidbits that you may or may not know. Number one, we like to recommend the Harley-Davidson factory oil filters. These oil filters are designed specifically for your motorcycle by Harley-Davidson, and it's what comes in the motorcycle from the factory.
So when installing these oil filters, it's very important to pre-lubricate the seal and put oil up to the threads as a priming aspect to it. That ensures that when you fire up the motorcycle the first couple seconds, you got proper lubrication throughout the system.
Perfect. The other thing we always recommend is a brake fluid flush, whether it's .4 or .5. When the bikes come into the shop, depending on how old they are, the brake fluid's been in there a while. A lot of times customers are complaining about the bike stopping, and so we do a lot of brake flushes here. Just make sure you're using the correct .4 or .5 for your bike.
So it's pretty obvious on most Harley-Davidson motorcycles. On the top of your cap, it'll say .4 or .5. It's very important that you don't put the wrong fluid in it, because you could have catastrophic failure of your braking system.
We don't want that. And then of course, we've got some Harley-Davidson heavy gear oil here, but the significance here is that we recommend you use Harley-Davidson fluids in your bike. Again, that's what Harley puts in it at the factory. And so, you know, lots of different viscosities that Harley offers depending on which bike you have.
Well, Harley-Davidson's got a lot of time and money into developing their formula to work with these motors specifically. And if you ever had a question on what weight oil you needed, you can always call up the dealership. We can inform you. Your owner's manual will have that information for sure as well, but for sure always go with a genuine Harley-Davidson engine oil and primary and transmission.
For sure. And then of course, we just, as an example, we've got some oil seals here. We always recommend take an oil seal out, put a brand new oil seal in. We have all these available here at the dealership.
If you're replacing an oil seal, it's because it's leaking. So you're not going to want to reuse a leaking oil seal.
Right.
But this is probably for the customer that's doing a little bit more in-depth servicing of their motorcycle.
Well, a lot of times you could be doing one job where you have to remove an oil seal to get to where you're going. So it may or may not be leaking, but in this situation, like you're talking about, yeah, if you pull it out, it's got to have a new one.
Yeah, for sure. It's just peace of mind. You don't want to have a leaking motorcycle.
And then of course we got some genuine Harley-Davidson gaskets over here. This is a gasket kit. Comes with the 3 different O-rings.
So this goes kind of hand in hand with the oil filter. You're replacing the oil filter as part of your oil change, and as well as that, you're replacing your O-rings and primary derby cover gasket as well. Because they're one-time use, it's like a seal where it's sealing the engine oil, the primary, the transmission from leaking all over the ground.
So one question we get a lot is about tire pressure, and tire pressure is very important, probably the most important thing you can check on your bike before you go for a ride.
If you have your owner's manual, it's in there, but if you don't have your owner's manual and you say you're at a gas station, you need to figure out what your tire pressure is. Instead of getting on your phone and looking it up, all Harley-Davidson motorcycles will have a VIN sticker, and on the VIN sticker will have your cold tire pressure front and rear, as well as tire sizes.
So there you have it. So some good information there about tire pressure, information about do's and don'ts. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to give us a call, drop a comment below, and don't forget to click and subscribe.